There have been some amazing studies on tunnel vision, and just really to understand the phenomena is that, kind of once law enforcement focuses in on a suspect, that they, person that they believe committed a crime, they start to filter out any type of exculpatory information that comes their way. And so it's almost like they're blinders, and they can't really hear if there's, a witness who comes forward and says, actually, that's not the person I saw, or, contradicts the evidence of guilt. And it's just, kind of funneled out. And it's a process that, the human brain does. Um, it's kind of like one of the natural processes. But in addition to tunnel vision, some of the leading factors of wrongful convictions are mistaken eyewitness identification. False confessions is a huge contributing factor to wrongful convictions. A fourth of the cases have involved false confessions or incriminating statements. Faulty forensic science. There are many, contributors to wrongful convictions, and at the Innocence Project, we try to implement reforms in the criminal justice system to, reduce those factors. We'll never have a perfect system. The system is, filled with humans. Even DNA is valuable. There have been cases where earlier forms of DNA testing were used to help convict innocent people. So, the system is only as good as the humans who are running the system, and in that sense, it will just never be perfect. We will always have mistakes. We will always have people who are innocent who are in prison, but certainly there's a lot that we can do to improve the system and to make it better and to make that number much, much smaller than we know it is today. At this point, there's no way to have a death penalty. At this point, we know that mistakes are made, and in truth, mistakes will always be made. And so if you have a system where innocent people will end up in prison, and will end up convicted, how can you have a system of capital punishment where you're going to carry out a punishment of somebody in execution that can never be reversed 10, 15, or 20 years later if you find out that there was a wrongful conviction? So that's just, unacceptable in our system at this point. There's a lot more that can be changed in this country. If you just look at mass incarceration, we have about 2.2 million people in prison. We use prison as a cure-all for everything that happens in society. We criminalize our youth. A fight at a high school that, 15 years ago would have resulted in kids being sent to the principal's office now results into the police being called, and kids going to jail and prison for what essentially are schoolyard fights. And so that also contributes to wrongful convictions, because the more people you're processing through the system, inevitably the more wrongful convictions you're going to have.